Hey, BSD pilot, Bat speaking. All right, so a quick video here to introduce you to the new website. I hope you like it. We have been deploying this for about 3 weeks now, and it's been a many months long teamwork between Flappy, Mole, and myself. Um, Actually, a special mention to Flappy for doing the hardest work, the biggest part, which is the coding for the new training modules and the deployment of the template, the new template. I'm really happy with the outcome, to be honest. It's obviously looking a lot better than the previous version, much more modern. And it's also readable, as you could see from pretty much any device, so you can actually browse the website now using your computer, obviously, but also any tablet or cell phone. So that's really something that you guys have been asking for a long time, and I hope you're happy with this. So we're going to start with the home page here and then go across the menu from left to right in the different submenus. And I'm going to explain to you what are the difference, if there are any difference. Homepage is pretty straightforward. There's nothing really new except the template that we've been using. Maybe the new thing here is the air mission request that used to be much smaller and maybe less obvious here. The air mission request lists all the upcoming missions, and it's still using Eastern Standard Time. I know you guys have been requesting something that can manage local time, I mean your own local time, but we have been unable to find something like this for the time being. At least not something that is easily deployable. So we're still going to work in EST despite having two different battalions, EU and US for the time being, but it hasn't been a major issue for the moment. I haven't seen any incidents, so I know it's painful at the beginning, but you guys have been doing great, and at some point you're getting used with using EST. No TAMs, so anything new here is showing here the server status. You know that. Again, by the way, server status is a module, another module that has been developed by Flappy. And it's pretty cool. Whenever we got one of those dedicated server going down, we actually receiving an email automatically. So we, at least if we're looking at our emails, we're supposed to know that one of the server is down. Yes, dedicated 3 is down, but that's its normal status. We are really we're launching dedicated server 3 only when we need it, but the 1 and 2 are running 24/7. Everything else, you know that, the forum and the articles here, plus a link to Discord with a real-time status of the Discord server and who is doing what. Like Volk and MEA, for example, are flying right now with DJ. The second element of the menu is My Flight Bag. So as the name suggests, it's everything about you, it's all your stuff. It used to be called Pilot in the previous version of the website. I renamed that to My Flight Bag, and inside My Flight Bag you have My Logbook, which is, well, exactly what you used to have in the previous version. All your, all the fields where you can set your flight hours, your multiplayer flights on the different platforms, your qualifications, and so on. My training is a new thing here, so I'm going to show that to you. It's a new module that has been developed by Flappy, where you can see the different platform that you have, only 4 for the moment, but the way Flappy developed the module, it's a few clicks to add whenever it's available, the 24, the 58, and the 64. You can basically have a global view of all your tasks. So you got the task number for the task 1000, task 2000s, assigned to getting your RL2 or your RL1. And I'm going to spend some time on explaining the CTL module, and you'll see how this thing relates to the CTL module. But I mean, if you are a pilot or leader, if you're not an IP, it gives you a view of what you checked so far and what you need to check for getting to RL2, RL1. Again, remember, You can get RL2 on every helicopter you want, assuming that the relevant IP have time for you. But you can get only RL1 on the helicopter you're assigned to, so the platoon you're assigned to. Right. The other thing is my missions. So my missions, it's slightly new in a way that it's basically listing all the missions you registered, and the mission you registered to and the mission you are currently registered. And on the upcoming missions, there's a new thing here. You can see a button called Cancel Registration, and I'm going to insist on that. It's super important. But anytime you think you're not going to make it for a mission you just registered, please cancel your registration. Don't just let it go. It's super annoying for a mission designer or an AMC to prepare a flight or to design a mission, and then at the last minute or even during the briefing realize that some pilots are missing and he's not been made aware of that. So cancel your registration. It sends an email to the mission designer or whoever set up the mission to tell that, hey, by the way, this guy cancel his registration for this mission. So at least he's gonna see something from you, and even to be sure, just drop him a line and just drop him a few words on Discord to let him know. The other thing is My Squadron. So nothing special about My Squadron, but it's basically a phone book of all the pilots in the den. So it's not filtered by platoon. Just everyone here that is currently flying. So you got the call sign, the rank, the company and battalion is flying for, the total flight hours, and I don't know if you used that before, and some of you did. You got special abilities. You can actually edit that in your My Logbook part, and it tells a little bit more about you. And you have a choice, whether you're a pit builder, if you're an active military or a veteran, or if you're actually a real helicopter pilot. You can tell the world, and that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to have for the other guys. Like if I'm looking to get some information on, I don't know, pit building, for example, like I know I can ask Happy, or I can ask another guy about whoever is tagged as a pit builder. I can ask some question to him. Last thing is my subscription. So my subscription actually relates to the forum. So as you might know, you can actually subscribe to some of the threads you're interested in, and it will show here. And whenever there's something new, it will tell. So that's what it is. My subscriptions is my subscription to the threads on the forum that you're interested in. Okay, so let's go to platoons here. So that gives anyone, so it's actually accessible to, at least the top level organization is accessible to the public. So it gives an idea on the way the squadron is organized, and it's not going down to the detail of who is flying what. So I'm stopping at the platoon level. You don't have the list of pilots per platoon here, unlike what we used to have in the previous version using the Google spreadsheet. But I'm looking at trying to do something that allows each platoon leader to edit the list of pilots for each platoon. But it's not available yet. I'm still working on this, or we're still working on this. But at least it's giving you the top level organization. So who is your battalion commander? Who is your company commander? Well, for the moment we don't have platoon leaders, but that's something probably we need to have at some point. There's no reason to have a platoon leader since there's only one helicopter for Shadow and for Reapers, but depending on the way it works and the way how many people we'll have per platoon, we might have to have a platoon leader per platoon. Also the SPs, so standardization pilots, those are the guys who are defining the task list per helicopter. So we have Reb for the AH, Eagle for UH, and Gizmo for the OH, and this is coordinated by Eagle at the top level. Oh yeah, and you can zoom. How cool is that? You can zoom in and zoom out. So you know, if you have a bad eyesight for some reason, or if it doesn't fit your screen, you can play with that. Platoons. So then you got the different platoons: Reaper, Rhino, Shadow, Outlaw. So for each platoon, for the moment, I think I'm gonna add a few things, but for the moment, each platoon have the roster. I'm clicking on the Reaper roster, and it lists all the people, all the pilots that actually qualified on the K50 with their readiness level. So there's more pilots listed here than the amount of pilots that are actually assigned to the platoon, because as if you remember, you can be an RL2 on pretty much any helicopter you want in BSD, assuming that relevant IP have enough time for you to do that. But you can be RL2 on pretty much anything. The only thing you're not going to be is RL1 on a helicopter that you're not assigned to. So you cannot be RL1 on a K50 if you're assigned to UH1 platoon, for example. Okay. But that's why you got a little bit more people than the actual size of the AH platoon. So platoons, because they're EU and US here. But it's just because some of us are RL2 on K50, but we're not assigned to the AH platoon. And you got some search fields also. You can look, search for, filter this by battalion. If you're looking only for who is RL1 on the K50, and the position, trainee, pilot, leader, or high command. The other thing you have in the platoon is the library part. So I can go to Shadow Library, and you got all the documents dedicated to the said platform. So for the Gazelle, for example, you can go into the IRL documents. You have a bunch of things here. And it's the same. It's not fully it's not complete. I mean, I'm still missing some of the documents I'd like to have in the library, but it's working. All right, let's move to training. So training. So you might not have in the training part all those the sub menus. Obviously, if you are not an IP, you're not going to have access to this. I'm going to show you that nonetheless anyway. There's no secret here. But the registrant is the list of people that are currently registered, obviously. So that's people who are not yet trainees, so they have to go through the intro flight. It shows them when they registered and the time zone. So it's kind of helpful for the IPs to see what's going on. If you remember, usually after about a month, a little bit more than a month, if a registered guy didn't show up for its intro flight or its initial check ride, whatever you want to call it, I'm usually removing his account. So it kind of gives a little bit an idea of the amount of time left. And if you know the guy, for example, and you see that they're getting close to being removed, then you can eventually call him on Discord and say, hey, are you still willing to join? Because at some point we're going to have to remove your account because you haven't been doing your intro flight for more than a month since you registered. The other part is the written test. So the SOP written test needs to be reworked completely. It's been on the website for like 4 years. It's a requirement for the RL1, so it's just checking if you guys have actually been through the SOP, the BSD standard operating procedures, and if you know a little bit, but it needs to be reformatted and have a few new questions here. But this is basically where you're going to get it in training. The IP UT part is, as I said before, available only for IP and UT guys. You have the trainee manager, which basically allows you to check tasks for up to 4 pilots at a time. So I can look for any guys here flying the SA, the Gazelle, and I can check their task or uncheck their task as an IP. All right, and this is what you're going to see you as a pilot or as a non-IP in your my flight back, my trainings. Okay. The Platoon form, it's the same old thing. I made a few modifications here for the platoon form, but it's basically whenever you want to have a pilot, so whenever an IP or UT needs to have a pilot change regarding its readiness level, or if he wants a pilot to become an IP or UT, this is how it works. So he's basically say, hey, it's me for this guy, and I want him, for example, to be on the K50 to be set to RL2 and have his deck and sling qualification checked. And by the way, he's super good, so I want him to be UT also. Okay, so I'm receiving a notification by email, and then I can go on the backend website and activate those things on the website and also on Discord, by the way, to make sure it shows. There's no big changes except that now you can select UT and IP, but everything is the same from the previous version. What else? CTL setup. So that's something that is accessible only for SPs. So CTL stands for what it stands for? Command Task List, I think. If you're an SP, you can select the platform you're responsible for. And by the way, that's again that's something that Flappy made. And you can say, okay, I want for my helicopter, for my platform, perform hovering flight. I want it to be an RL2 task, or I want it to be an RL1 task, or this is not relevant for my helicopter, so I leave it unselected. Okay. So we asked each SPs to define for each helicopter type what they want to have as an RL2 or RL1 task, and they can change that at any time if they change their mind. But whatever task they don't want to see, for example, where we are here, K50, perform slope operation, select landing and pickup zone. Obviously, not very relevant. But other things important for RL2. Auto rotations. I know it's been there's been a lot of discussion whether we want this into RL2, RL1. In that case, we chose the SP chose to have auto rotation for the K15 and RL1 task. Okay, so this is the way it works. What else we have? CTL guidelines. So guidelines is just a link to the IPUT guidelines PDF documents that we have in the library, and everyone got access to that anyway, so you're good with that. Next menu here, missions. Nothing too new on the missions. We just renamed and corrected a few things. You still have the calendar view here, the monthly, weekly, daily view for the month, so you can see what happened and what's coming up. I know you guys are using that, and you can of course click on the mission to have the details here for each mission. Register, usual thing, it's just looking maybe better, but you can see all the upcoming missions and you can click on register for the upcoming missions. Create is for any one of you guys who have a mission ready to go. So again, that's the same kind of the same layout than the previous version of the website. Name of the mission. There's a new thing here that I wanted to highlight is a waiting list. So you can define if you have a waiting, if you want to have a waiting list. So you can say my mission, I can have, I don't know, 12 guys on this mission, but I'm accepting more people, but they'll be put on a waiting list, and you can tell, okay, this is how many people I'd be willing to take on the waiting list. Remember to set up your emails here in the notification emails, because you want, whenever someone cancels, for example, his registration, you want to be aware of that. And everything else, if you have set up missions before, it's pretty standard. The briefing is only one field. We used to have two fields, but it's been really useless to have two fields. You had the short briefing and a full briefing. We just removed that and put only one text field for the briefing. And by the way, we have a new editor that is really much better than one we used to have. So you guys, hope you enjoy. Manage missions, nothing new. Again, that's the upcoming missions, and if you are registered or not. So that's your mission, the mission you set up. And mission tools, also nothing new. It's just a tool, a form that helps you filling out or pre-filling the BSD mission briefing template. So you can do that on your own. You have a link into the library using the BSD briefing template. It's just something that helps you, making briefings. It's really it's really a pain in the ass all the time. So it's fun to do a mission, but briefing is not all fun. So we providing you guys with a template for the mission briefing, and we even providing you guys with a form that helps you filling out correctly the template by just answering some of the questions here. Okay, so it's generating a pre-filled mission briefing in that case. For those who really don't know what if it's your first time doing a briefing, that can help you. Okay, now going to the forum. Forums. Nothing new except the template that makes the whole forum a lot easier to read. The structure is about the same than the BSD Discord channel or Discord server. Although not all the channels are used as in Discord. Quick reminder for you guys, I keep saying that all the time, but whatever you want to save, important information you want to keep, it's not going to happen on Discord. Everything you're posting will be forgotten in about 2 days, and even the pin message in the server's channel, they are not very visible. And nothing is backed up anyway on Discord, right? So the only backup that exists for the BSD website is a BSD website. There's no backup for Discord. So anything you want to keep, anything you want to follow up, use the forum. One thing I changed, or I improved, I have to say, is the this category here. Used to be called docs, and I changed it to tutorials because I pinned the 2 most requested threads, which are the dedicated server to tutorial and the BSD mod packs, installing BSD mod packs using OVGME tutorial. And reminds me, I probably have to pin also a Fargo's server 1 tutorial, but those ones are the 2 most required threads, and that's where you're going to find them all the time. That's going to be in tutorials, which I think is kind of making sense. Library, nothing new here. Yes, it is new in a way that we're using a new module that I think looks much better. So you have the general documents here, TCS specific maps and charts. You can look at this. It's available from trainee status up, and it lists basically all the documents we have for pretty much everything, in addition to the one specific to each platform. So if you're looking for a document that is specific to a helicopter, you have to go to platoons, okay, into their own library. If you're looking for something more generic, so the guides, quick reference handbook, IP guidelines, the briefing package template here, or some IRL generic documents or regulation, military regulation, it's all here. And of course, depending on your rights, you can also add files and stuff. Obviously, I can manage the files here, but it's not for everyone. Mods, it's just a straight link to the mods files. So the BSD mod packs 0 to 9, plus the OVGME. I know it's not always easy to find this software because it's old, but it's still working. So you can find the latest version here. And all those files are hosted on Google Drive, on the BSD Google Drive. So there's no bandwidth limit here. Media, it's a public place here where you got basically the logo, the intro, outro video, everything you want to use, or the wallpapers for BSD, Everything that is branded BSD here that you're free to use and download. Brevity, we used to have this before. It's just listing all the words that you might want to know during a mission. I'm not gonna lie here. I do not know all the Brevity words here. But if you ever heard something, you have no idea what the guy is talking about during a mission, have a look at this. It's dynamic, so you can really look at if you're looking at a specific word, sparkle. You have the explanation here. What else left? But call sign. So I know we have call signs, like predefined call sign for every platoon. It became kind of a tradition to have a call sign, the same call sign that the platoon's name, but sometimes you might have different flights of the same helicopter. So in that case, you might want to use different call sign in your mission. So you can look at this here. That's the actual call sign used by different country for different type of helicopters. But it's just to give you a little bit of help here, mostly for the mission designs to come up with some good and realistic call signs. Okay, so next thing is the about sign up. So no need to spend too much time on this. It's just for the for anyone finding out this the website, finding out about Black Chardin. It's just giving the generic philosophy and the two basic rules: helicopters only and co-op missions. Okay, that's the basis of Black Chardin. So it's written here in large fonts, and then a little bit about what we're doing, what we're flying, what it takes to join, and a link to sign up and log in. So that's pretty much it. I hope it was helpful and it makes this website a little bit clearer. It's not completely finished. There's a few things I'd like to add then, but it's a little bit more complicated than what I thought to add, but we're still working on it, so there's going to be a few additions here, but you basically got the idea on how the website is going to look like. That's going to be it, and I hope you like it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.